I finally did it. DDD combo video, let's freaking go, man. This deck is insane. It plays Pendulum cards, and we all know that Pendulum cards are the best cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Alongside Cyber Dragon cards, and if you disagree with that, well, that's fine, but you're wrong. Anyways, before this video starts, make sure you like and subscribe. Seriously motivates me a lot to keep breathing and existing on this planet. And with that being said, let's jump right into combo number one. Kind of a bit more standard. It's only when you have Kepler, so there is almost nothing that you can do here. You're gonna go for the Dark Contract and then search the Griffin, which is obviously going to be special summoning itself, and then Gilgamesh is going to be specifically scaling the Cerberus. This is really important, and the Zero King Rage because it scales 0, and that allows you to pendulum summon back the Kepler from your extra deck since it is a level 1, so a skill 1 wouldn't work here, but the Cerberus is actually better than the Ragnarok because this allows you to transform a monster on the field to level 4, and this is relevant because we can actually make a rank 4 with the Kepler and the Griffin, and this Wave King Caesar actually searches for a Dark Contract card when it is sent specifically from the field to the graveyard, but don't worry, there is also another kind of play that we can do. We can kind of just like Cyber Dragon Infinity can be slapped on top of Nova, we can do the same thing with King Tao, so slap it on top of the Wave King Caesar, and then link off both cards for the Abyss King Gilgamesh, again, so the second one, and this is going to be Foolishing for the Vice Typhoon. It has a similar effect as the Necro Slime, I think that's the name of the card, so you can banish the materials from the graveyard and then special summon your High King Genghis, and then you can summon, again, just like Infinity, an Xyz monster on top, which is Machina, so shoutouts to the Machina monsters. But yeah, the really important thing here is that you actually special summon a DD monster, so the High King Genghis can actually trigger to revive back a monster from the graveyard, and that's gonna be the the Wave King Caesar, sorry. And now you can make a third Gilgamesh, Jesus, which is now going to be triggering to search the Eternal Darkness, and now you have a pretty good setup with literally just one card. So you have technically 2 interruptions with monster, well, it doesn't really negate monster effects, but it attaches whichever monster activates this effect on the opponent's field to the Machina. So you destroy your gate and then you have 2 materials because you attach the first monster, and then you can do the same thing, so detach 2 materials and then steal another monster. It's not once per turn, but it is once per chain, and as long as Eternal Darkness is on the field, while you have 2 DD monsters in your pendulum zones, your opponent cannot target monsters on the field with spell or trap effects, tribute them for a tribute summon, so even against Flunderies is good, nor use them as materials for fusion, synchro, or Xyz summon. That's pretty ridiculous, and this is just with 1 card. That's it for combo number 1, let's get into combo number 2. So a little bit better, but at the same time it's not huge, it's just 2 cards. So let's just say you have Swirl Slime, which is this card by the way, and Kepler. Look at what you can do. So now again the Kepler is going to search that Dark Contract, which is then going to be searching for that Griffin again, so special summon it from the hand, make the Gilgamesh, and now you're going to be linking off the exact same things as before because the very beginning of the combo is identical, but this time we can actually use the effect of DD Griffin when it is pendulum summoned, so discard 1 DD card and draw 1 card. So now we're discarding the Swirl Slime, which is pretty relevant in the graveyard anyways, and we are drawing into a card, and now we can make a rank 4 with the Kepler and the Griffin, again with the effect of Cerberus, make another Gilgamesh, but the difference this time is that we're not going into the Caesar, the King Tell on top of Caesar, we're literally just linking off so we can search for that Swamp King, and now we can use the effect to summon the regular Genghis, which is still pretty good. It literally doesn't, in this context, it still does the same thing as the other kind of High King Genghis, and so yeah, we're going to be reviving this DD Griffin, which is going to be searching for a DD monster, which is the Orthros in this situation, and the graveyard effect of Swirl Slime is cool because we can banish it and then special summon a DD monster from the hand, and Orthros just happens to be a level 4 tuner, so we search it and now we can make the Siegfried. So with just 2 cards we have a spell or trap negate, we have a lot of monster negates here thanks to Machina, and of course we have a draw, but this is just the very beginning. Now let's get into the spicy part. Okay, so anything that is 3-card combo and more, you can always play around hand traps. It's literally always the same thing. Copernicus, not even Kepler, and Swirl Slime and Necro Slime, this is already like a really good opening, can do quite a lot, and we can actually play around Nibiru, so count the amount of summons with me. 1, and then 2 with the Copernicus, so now we're going to be Foolishing for Griffin, so banish the Swirl Slime and the Necro Slime for a third, well, for the second Genghis, which is summon number 3, and now we're going to be triggering the Genghis to summon back the Griffin, which is going to be searching for that Kepler, so summon number 4, and summon number 5 is going to be kind of like the Appaloosa of the situation, so you can negate a spell or trap card or monster effect, then that includes an effect to special summon a monster, quick effect, and obviously by detaching 1 card, negates the activation, and if you do destroy, which is really relevant because Nibiru, yeah sure it tributes, but it doesn't tribute for cost, and it does include an effect to special summon a monster, obviously. Now we are safe from Nibiru, so thanks to summon number 5, and now we can make Gilgamesh, but this time we can actually finally skill for that Ragnarok. Finally, man, I freaking love that card. I think skilling it is a bit better than Cerberus, but when you have your Kepler as your starter, you kind of have to go for Cerberus just because it becomes level 4, so you can just go for Ragnarok, and it kind of has the better effect. It's kind of like a Monster Reborn whenever you summon a monster. Actually, as a matter of fact, it's literally the same thing as the Genghis and the High King Genghis. But yeah, now we're going to be pendulum summoning for 3 monsters, so the 2 monsters from the extra deck, as well as the Kepler, and we're going to be searching for a Dark Contract, which is gonna be the Swamp King, and now we can make the Caesar, which again is going to turn into King Tell. You're going to see this so often in everybody's combos. You're going to now link off both for another Gilgamesh. This is the reason why 3 Gilgamesh is actually pretty good in your extra deck, because in your very first combo, you very often go into multiple Gilgameshes. Yes, it's nice to have kind of like a third one as a backup follow-up, but even sometimes in your very first turn, you could actually technically go into 3 Gilgamesh, because linking off your cards allows you to trigger the Caesar as well as the King Tell, and even this card, as a matter of fact. Anyways, now you're going to be foolishing for the Lamia, and now you're going to be summoning for King Dark, so not the High King Genghis, and you're going to be triggering the Ragnarok, so summon back the King Tell, gain 1000 life points because we were supposed to lose 1000 because of the effect of Ragnarok, but King Dark makes us gain life points instead, so in game 3 against Time, you actually get to win the game thanks to King Dark. So killing yourself is actually a good thing in a way, because instead of killing yourself, you're like healing yourself in a way. Anyways, Lamia effect by sending the King Tell, which is going to be foolishing for the Vice Typhoon. Now we're gonna make for the Siegfried, and of course we're going to summon that High King Genghis, summon the Machina on top of Gilgamesh number 2, going to be triggering the High King Genghis, so special summoning a monster from the graveyard, which again is the Caesar, and now we can make a third Gilgamesh. So that's the reason. We have 1 Gilgamesh in the grave, 1 in the main monster zone, 1 in the extra monster zone, so yes, it does come up where 3 Gilgamesh is really important, and we can trigger that rank 4 monster to search that Eternal Darkness. So that's ridiculous, man. 3-card combo, plays around Nibiru, and you have a Speller Trap negate, huge domain lock, a monster negate that actually, well, not monster negate, a Snatch Steal during either player's turn, but it is very reactive, kind of like the Draco Berserker of the Tenyi, if you will, because it doesn't negate, but it does punish that monster from activating its effect in the first place. But that's a really nice setup for a 3-card combo that actually plays through hand traps. But again, you know me, I love keeping the best for the end, and now let's get into the next combo. Man, yo, look at this, man. 4-card combo, okay, fair enough. Not that unrealistic in a way, because you do have a lot of Dark Contracts to kind of get your play started. There are a lot of cards that could have been like other cards in theory, like instead of Copernicus sometimes you're gonna have Kepler, or instead of Griffin, whatever, you're gonna have the Dark Contract continuous spell. Instead of Necro Slime, sometimes you can have Vice Typhoon, and it literally does the same thing sometimes, but just for the sake of this specific combo, playing around 3 freaking Imperms, it's gonna be something, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, Copernicus is going to eat the Imperm. This is kind of relevant because if the Copernicus didn't get Impermed, we could actually kind of keep extending even if our opponent was holding the card, so it is kind of a good card to Imperm. But anyways, now we can make that Genghis and then special summon the Griffin, which is going to be triggering the Genghis. This Imperm is also kind of relevant for the opponent, because otherwise we would have more materials to go into the Link monster, and also using these as rank 4, whatever, blah blah blah. So whatever, let's just say this gets Impermed as well. Now we make the Caesar, make the Gilgamesh, and this getting Impermed is a big deal. It's actually really huge. It hurts us a lot. We don't have much to keep going, but it doesn't matter, man. DDD best deck. We play Pendulum cards again, so you already know what that means. Special summoning back the Griffin from the grave, search the DD Hunt, and now special summon the Orthros, make Siegfried, and look at this, man. Through 3 Imperm, we were able to make 4 interruptions, so we can steal 3 monsters thanks to Headhunt, and on top of that, we can also negate a Speller Trap with Siegfried. Yo, this deck is too freaking good, and we even have a follow-up, a Dark Contract with the Gate. We have the King Caesar already in the grave, so when we summon something next turn with whatever, the High King Genghis is going to be triggering, even on normal summon, reviving back the Caesar, or even the Copernicus, and we can keep playing from there. So the follow-up of this deck is absolutely ridiculous, and hand traps are just not enough. They only slow you down, but they don't cripple you, because like I said, the spell cards that searches or special summon whatever, they stay on the field. Continuous spell cards that continuously get you advantage are my favorite in the game. I'd rather have a continuous reinforcement of the army than a normal spell reinforcement of the army that goes to the grave once it's used. Pretty much it for this combo. Let's get into the final combo. Alrighty, final combo, and this is again very similar to combo number 3 that I showed you that actually played around Nibiru, but this time we're also playing around Ash, because why not, right? Why not? So Swirl Slime into the Genghis, regular Genghis, special summon the Griffin, which is going to be triggering to revive back the Copernicus, and then use this effect. Now, one really important thing that I want to say is that Ash is actually not a good hand trap at all against DDD, and the reason reason for that is because you can easily chain block the cards that are trying to search or even Foolish, because Gilgamesh can be on the highest chain link, but Gamma cannot really be used against Gilgamesh because when it gets destroyed, it's actually in your favor. You get to summon like a DDD monster from your extra deck. Yeah, I mean, it really doesn't hurt us whatsoever. Ash on Copernicus or even Kepler or Dark Contract with the Gate is like a 1 for 0.5. It's not really what you're trying to go for. And Nibiru alone is only good when you have like a 1 or 2 card combo, but when you have like a 3 card combo, Nibiru stops being good. So a 4 card combo losing to 1 Ash translates to like a 3 card combo not getting ashed, if you understand, depending on the situation, of course. But we can do quite a lot. So normal summon the Baphomet, which is a pretty good card. Shoutouts to, by the way, my Twitch chat that actually told me that Baphomet was a card I would have to be playing in my DDD deck, because yes, it is actually quite helping me quite a lot. The summon number 5, again, if you're counting with me, is the card that negates Nibiru, so now we can actually just go bye-bye, and let's just assume that we didn't actually get Nibiru'd, and our opponent is actually holding it. We would have to keep it on the field, because otherwise, if we do get Nibiru'd, sure, we can link it off and get another Dark Contract and get even more card advantage, but again, just for the sake of this combo, let's just assume that we didn't technically get Nibiru'd. And I just want you to know that when you negate, you actually make both monsters, well, one DD monster you control and the High King Caesar, who are super powerful. You make both of them gain 1800 attack. That's actually gigantic. But yeah, Gilgamesh not getting impermed feels freaking good. You only pendulum summon 1, but that's all you need, man. So you take 1,000, you make the Caesar, and then King Tail again. This is really nice because King Tail, yeah, sure, it's not once per turn. Wave King Caesar is once per turn though. So you always try to start with this one, and then when you revive back something with like High King Genghis or King Genghis or whatever, or even Ragnarok, you revive back the Wave King Caesar, and then you can link it off, do something else, send it with Lamia, and trigger its effect again. So this play, I think you've already seen it billions of times, where you summon your High King Genghis, and then you put Machina on top, just so you can trigger its effect to revive back something from the grave, and then make another Gilgamesh, search for that Dark Contract with the Gate, and now what are we gonna search? We're going to go for the Kepler, because we still have a Swirl Slime in the grave, so we can special summon from the hand, and then Kepler is going to be searching for another Dark Contract, which this time is going to be Eternal Darkness. So through an Ash and an a Nibiru, we were able to make the card that actually stops further, whatever, potential Nibiru, or if your opponent goes like Red Ice Fusion or Fusion Destiny, you can just go, no, negate, and it actually does something. Pretty sure this is like not even once per turn to like negate like a card that actually includes an effect of special summon, and of course the Machina is just ridiculously good. We have Eternal Darkness, which is a soft lock, so this deck is just ridiculously insane. I have nothing else to say. Thank you guys so much for watching this combo video. Please let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. If you have any feedback, it would be seriously appreciated, because I don't believe I'm good enough with the deck. Any feedback you think will actually help me and will help other players as well is greatly appreciated. Again, thank you guys so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.